What if I told you that your team meetings could be turned into actionable items that you can follow up, or that the request coming up to your IT team or customer help desk could automatically assign themselves, plan themselves, and estimate themselves without you having to lift a finger? And it can all be done inside of ClickUp thanks to AI agents. Think of AI agents as virtual project managers that have small tasks to execute based on a set of instructions you give them. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how AI agents are the biggest breakthrough when it comes to project management, and how it's probably one of the most important and underestimated ClickUp feature right now. And I'm not saying this because AI is a buzzword right now, but because I think up until now, ClickUp was quite finicky when it comes to AI, and all those content generations and AI summaries in ClickUp were pretty cool, but that's a gadget, in my opinion, that can easily replace using ChatGPT. But that was up until now, because AI agents make ClickUp AI worth it. And we are at the edge at the AI agentic revolution, where you will have agents taking care of handling the tasks for you or planning your team's capacity without you having to do anything. Now, before we jump into this video, if you don't know me already, my name is Ramzi and I'm the founder of Upsys. We're a ClickUp verified agency, and we help businesses set up ClickUp, but most of all, optimize their operations with solid systems, with automations, and since very recently, with AI agents. If you're interested about that, you can book a discovery call and we'll go through your need and see how we can help you out as a founder, as a business owner, to exit your own operations and to let your team handle your task management with a way more automated system. Now let's talk about ClickUp AI agents. And I've prepared a diagram here where I'm gonna show you two different AI agents. The first one is gonna summarize your meeting and turn them into actionable tasks. So it's gonna create subtasks based on each meeting you're gonna handle, and it's gonna create a new meeting for the next week where you can follow up on each of those subtasks, as it's gonna give you a summary. You're gonna see that the agent is capable of reading through your meeting transcript or summary if you're using an AI meeting note taker tool, and it's capable of turning it into tasks and assigning it to the right people. And the second agent we're going to build is an agent capable of triaging the tickets coming to your team. It's going to prioritize it, assign it, and plan a start date and due date based on the set of rules we're going to give it. But before we get into these real life use cases, I want to explain you how agents work. We have a little diagram that I made here. This pretty much summarizes how an agent works. And this is interesting because it doesn't apply only to ClickUp agents, but to any agents you'd be building, whether it's in ClickUp or in any other automation or agent building tool. Agents pretty much need three things, and you can easily remember it with the acronym KIT, K-I-T. Your agent is going to need knowledge, instructions, and tools. Think of your agent kind of like a little robot. Your agent is going to need knowledge. So you need to give inputs to your robot. Tell it about your business, your company, what you do, who are your clients, what are your constraints, what are your limitations. And this input is going to serve your agent to have a context about your business. Now, the second thing you need is going to be the I part, the instructions. The instructions is your prompt. If you've been using tools like ChatGPT, you know what a prompt is. It's basically a set of instructions for a certain context you would give to your agent. You're going to tell it, create a task, or set an assignee, or review this task, or change the due date, or whichever instruction you want your little robot to do. And then the last part is going to be tools. Tools are kind of like boundaries you're going to create for your agent. For example, you can only let your agent do certain things out of everything it's capable of doing. You're going to bound it to managing tasks, creating tasks, writing a meeting stand-up, assigning a comment. Say you don't want your agent to be able to create new tasks, but only manage existing ones. You're going to select the first thing here, manage tasks and subtasks, and you're not going to select the second option, create tasks. You're basically only bounding your agent to doing task editing and not task creation. And creating this kit, the set of knowledge, instructions, and tools is all possible thanks to the brand new feature of ClickUp AI agents. And once you've set your tools, your instructions, and your knowledge, your agent is ready to go. And then you need to define a trigger that would trigger that agent to perform an action. ClickUp AI agents are actually combined with automations. I'm going to show you that in the ClickUp UI later, but you had to understand this concept of how to build your agent first. Now that you understood how agents work, let's move on to our very first use case, the meeting summaries. We're going to be able to summarize our meeting notes from a ClickUp task. We're going to turn that note into actionable tasks, and we're going to put our key points into the next weekly meeting. Now let's get into ClickUp, where I've already prepared a list where we have some meeting notes. We have a weekly team meeting here, and as you can see, the meeting notes are pretty thorough right there. And this is actually generated with a tool like MeetGeek or Fathom. Obviously, your meeting notes are not going to be as organized, but if you start using a meeting transcription tool, it'll organize it like so. If we get back to my diagram, the idea is that we have a tool like Clat, MeetGeek, Fathom. Some of these tools offer native integrations like MeetGeek, and some others require dedicated automation software like Make.com because they have an API, for example, and you need to connect these meeting transcriptions tools with your ClickUp account. I know that ClickUp offers transcriptions with AI now, but you'll have to pay extra for this. To be fair, I haven't tested the ClickUp meeting transcription feature, but I'm pretty sure you can do the same as it's native in ClickUp, and you can probably create a task for you with that transcription. What we're going to do is use this transcription that we have into the task to create actions, and then to create a summary that we're going to put as a comment into our next weekly meeting. So what we're going to do here is create our first agent. To create your first agent, you can go here into the automate section and create an automation. Instead of having an action here, you could do anything with AI. And if you click that button, it will show you the ClickUp AI agent interface. And as you can see, it's pretty much built like a regular automation. And you have all the panels I've been telling you about, like your instructions, your knowledge, and your tool. What we're going to do is use one of those pre-built prompts and tweak it for our need. I like to create one agent per task, and this is actually how you can make agentic work efficient. Think of your agents as little minions of a bigger chain. You want to give your agent very specific context and very specific instructions, because if you ask them to do several things, there's a chance of failure. So I like to have an agent per step. First agent we're going to create is the agent that when a status is in review is going to create the actions based on my tasks. Let's say use data from the triggering task to create subtasks, and then I've tweaked it, set the assignee based on the meeting notes, update the priority field based on urgency, and then ensure all fields are accurate and aligned with the task goals. The last instruction that I like to give is to keep things simple, because AI tends to overcomplicate things, and we want to keep the workspace and the tasks simple. I said, keep it simple, create the appropriate amount of tasks, but do not overcomplicate it. And then I can add specific knowledge. I can add a bunch of things. I could add specific tasks that are in my ClickUp account for context. I could add information from different spaces in ClickUp. So if I have other tasks or stuff related to my client, I could add it in here. Because we're in the web agency demo space, we could actually pick that, and it will fill up the information with tasks I might have ongoing for all those clients if I wanted to. It's going to use that knowledge to be more relevant and to make the content of better quality. In our case, what matters the most is the meeting notes, but we could leave it for context and pick the web agency demo space. As you can see, it's brought in every single list in that space. Some of those are just for demo, and I'm just gonna leave maybe a few appropriate ones. These are the client lists and the meeting notes list, which is the one that we're actually in. It's actually gonna feed in from all the client work for these 5 clients, as well as the previous meetings that I have in the meeting notes list. Second thing you can connect is an external app. By default, it's using GPT-4o, but you could also connect the ClickUp Help Center data so that it knows exactly how to interact with ClickUp. I don't really know if it's super useful, but I'm going to tick it and see the result. And then we can connect an app. If there's information about these clients, about this meeting, in another of your tools, you can actually connect it. Say you're using ClickUp for task management and Notion for documentation, you could connect your Notion docs in here. And that's the power of ClickUp AI agent, is that it's not only bounded to your ClickUp data. That's what I love. They made it open and they allow you to store your data elsewhere and use that into your agents in ClickUp. But we're going to keep it simple for now. And we have our instructions, our knowledge, and now let's add a tool. What we want to do is manage tasks and subtasks, but we also want it to create tasks. We want it to create new subtasks into the meeting notes list, and we can actually pick the list where we would want it to create a task. For now, we're going to pick the meeting notes, and you're going to have to organize them and dispatch them across your different clients. But I'm pretty sure ClickUp is going to improve that feature and let you pick multiple lists into the create task tool. Now we're going to leave it for manage tasks and subtasks, and that is it. I don't think we need anything else. Let's click create, and we have our first agent. We can rename it status review, create actionable tasks. Then let's create a second agent that creates the next meeting and summarizes the previous meeting and the actions that were to take. We're going to actually say when the status goes to review, then change the status to closed. And what this does is it's going to trigger our second agent. I could have told the first agent to actually close the task, but for these very simple automations, I'd rather have ClickUp do it through ClickUp automations. That way, I'm going to offload some of those very specific tasks from the agent. You can think of your agents like humans. You don't want to give them too many tasks as one, and I'd like to keep it simple and really split things out. And then let's create a second agent. You can actually duplicate the first agent, and we're going to say use data from the triggering task to create a new task for the next weekly meeting notes, and leave a comment with the previous meeting notes key action items. And we're going to give it a bit more context. The goal is to follow up through everyone's actions during the next meeting. Keep it simple, create the appropriate amount of tasks, but do not overcomplicate it. This is just an example prompt. You can refine this. I don't know if there's any rule behind those instructions. And what you can do is actually ask Brain for help and tell it to write the prompt for you. ClickUp Brain, as a reminder, is part of ClickUp AI. And I could tell it to write the prompt. I don't know if it's going to be any good. We can have a look at that. Trigger, task created, and it gives you a set of instructions. And these actually might be a little bit better structured. So let's try and use the one suggested by ClickUp Brain for this one. So it's a little bit more thorough than the one I did. You're a meeting follow-up agent. Your goal is to help the team stay on track by creating tasks for the next weekly meeting and summarizing key action items. Let's see how it goes. It could be pretty good. We're going to leave it as is, and then we need to make sure there's a tool that creates tasks, another one that manages tasks, and one that posts task comment. We can add another one that assigns a comment. You'll not necessarily use all the tools, but at least we're giving it a bit more bounds. And then I'm going to duplicate that agent and rename it. Let's leave the Brain tab and say like status closed, create follow-up meeting. This one is when it goes to review, it goes to closed. Okay, cool. Now, congratulations, you've built your first agents. And if we get here, we can see that we have 2 agents and we have our task ready. I'm gonna set a date for the meeting date, say like it was 19th of May. And we can test that out and see if our agent is gonna work. We're gonna change our task status to review. This is the trigger we chose. You can choose any trigger you want, but that trigger should put the task to closed, which is happening right now. And our 2 agents should operate. The one that was triggered by the review and the one that was triggered by the closed tasks. Status could be a trigger, custom field could be a trigger. You could put whatever you want. Let's open up that task. As you can see, we have a set of actions here, and they're being created and assigned to the right people based on the meeting transcript. That meeting contained our team members and the actions, and that summary generated by our AI transcription tool just served as a base for the agent to create the subtasks. And as you can see here, we have all our subtasks created. We have priorities. If I told it to set start dates and due dates, it could have as well. And as you can see here, it's created the tasks and added even some descriptions. And the second thing it's done is it's created our meeting notes. We have a little description, and then we have the action items per client here. They didn't really put them by assignee, they're just mixed up, but maybe it's a matter of the quality of my prompt. So I recommend you to always test out your agents. Always make sure that it's bounded properly, test it on one task and see how it behaves. If it's creating too many actions, for example, you could tell it to create maybe up to 5 action stops, or you could also improve the prompt to make sure that your output is more satisfying. And obviously I've done it live in this video, but when we do it for a client, we have more context, we have more documentation, we give it more inputs, more details. We really refine the prompt when we launch the agent. If you want to make sure that you have solid, reliable agents that provide you with consistent, high-quality output, feel free to book a discovery call with us at Upsys, and we'll go through your need, ask you a few questions, and gather a bunch of information to build solid ClickUp AI agents for you. I'm actually building AI agents right now for a video production agency where we're building agents that take care of writing the scripts, preparing the shoots, and scheduling the content on social media platform, and even preparing captions and stuff. And if you're interested about knowing more, I'm going to publish a video about that and document how I've built these video agency AI agents. It's going to be for another video. The goal of this one is just to introduce you with the concept, and we're going to wrap things up with our second and last agent. This agent is going to take care of handling our IT help desk. So say you're a business and you have an IT help desk and people are submitting tickets through forms or email, and you want to take care of triaging them, making sure they have the right priority, an assignee, a start date, a due date, and stuff like that. We're going to get back here, and this is basically what we're going to prepare. It's an intelligent ticket triage. We're going to assign, estimate, plan, and prioritize our tasks. For this example, we're not going to make it complicated, but we could give it knowledge on rules on how to assign, estimate, plan tasks, and stuff like that. And if we get back to ClickUp, we have a document here that's our IT help desk priority matrix. We got a bit of information about what makes a ticket critical, high, medium, low, and the assignment logic here with the working hours of everyone, the workload balancing rules. Some of that data is not going to be really useful for now because ClickUp can't really do capacity planning. And at least we're preparing this for the future AI agents improvement, because I'm pretty sure capacity planning is going to come eventually. This is the kind of documentation that we prepare for a client when we set up an AI agent. And I recommend you to always give it some context and give it some sort of metrics to organize itself, to prepare the tasks. You need to give it some knowledge and some rules. I'm actually going to put this as urgent so that we match ClickUp's priority levels. And as you can see here, we've created a second form that we can actually share with anyone. And that's going to be our IT request form. And any new request coming up here is going to be organized. I'm going to remove this. This is part of the default template. We're actually just going to ask them to describe their issue, and the title is going to be generated by the AI agent. Let's keep it simple and just let people summarize their issue in here and drop a screenshot if they wanted to. What the person is going to say is basically, I have a problem, blah, 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 and fill that up. Let's start by building our agent before writing our first ticket. We can go back to automate. You can actually create the agent as well from the agent button and click new agent. And then we're going to say when a task is created, I don't want subtasks. And we could have actually conditions for the agent to trigger, but we're going to leave it as is and say we want to launch our AI agent. And the role of our AI agent is to process IT support tickets and create ClickUp tasks with the right priority, assignee, let's say start and due date. Use the knowledge provided, and we can actually ask Brain to prepare a better prompt. Let's see what it says. Okay, you're an IT support agent, follow these steps, priority. So we're going to use this and see how it goes. If you have ClickUp AI agents, you should have ClickUp Brain. It's part of the same subscription. So you can just copy and paste what ClickUp Brain says here and tweak it and play with it and see if you're happy with the quality. In terms of knowledge, we're going to add the document that we have. So the one we've just created, our IT help desk priority matrix. And we can leave the list as part of it. We don't really need to leave the workspace. Let's focus on those. And we want it to be able to manage tasks and subtasks, and potentially maybe assign a comment could be useful in certain cases. and we can always like expand our agent and let it create assigned comments. Let's leave it as is. We're using that prompt and say ticket created, then triage. Click create and save, and we have our first agent. Let's close this and get to our list. I'm going to display the fields that we need. So we need an assignee, a due date, a priority, and maybe I'm going to display the start date and estimate. And there we go, time estimate. We have our assignee, start date, due date, priority, and estimate. You can actually group tasks by assignee if we wanted to. So we have a nice view. Now let's try to create our first request. We're going to do it in a form here and assume people are doing it from a form. I've removed the name and I'm going to let ClickUp AI take care of naming our request. And I've prepared a dummy request coming from someone here. Hi, IT team, I need help. I've received several suspicious emails this morning that look like phishing. Okay, cool. Let's click submit and see how it goes. Our task should be created here and ClickUp should actually trigger our AI agent. Let's have a look. Urgent, potential phishing attack and system compromise. Task has been updated and I need immediate help. We have the original ticket here. And if I close up that task, I can see that I have an assignee, a start date, a due date, a priority, and an estimate set on that task because the agent has done that for me. The agent has gone through the knowledge I had in my IT help desk. It's gone through my IT request form intake and it's organized and triaged my task. Now let's try it with another dummy task. Second ticket is saying our entire marketing department cannot access the shared marketing drive. Please prioritize as we have deadlines today. Just click submit and then have a look at what happens. We have our ticket popping up here. And if we open it up, we should have it pre-fill based on ClickUp AI. It's reorganized everything and it set the task, it set the assignee, the priority, the dates. And as you can see, what's interesting is it hasn't put it as urgent because it's considered that this is more urgent, the phishing attack. It's assigned it to me, but it's put it as a bit less urgent. Now let's try with the third one. We have a third request popping up here. I'm an intern. I'm wondering if there's a way to connect my personal phone to the company Wi-Fi. Not urgent at all, just curious. As you can see, obviously, I'm helping it a little bit with giving it some cues into the request. The more people give some context and qualify their IT request, the more the AI is going to be able to organize it. So it's created our tasks properly here as a subtask, and I don't know why it's put it as a subtask. I'm going to bring it back as a parent task, and it's assigned it to someone else and set the start date and due dates as a bit less urgent and the priority as low. As you can see, based on the knowledge I gave it and the context of the other tasks, it's prioritizing by itself. And let's add another one. I'm starting work on Monday. What do I need to bring on my first day? One is probably pretty urgent, server room temperature. As you can see, it's put it as quite urgent. And this time it's created as a subtask again. That's quite odd. And AI agents are still in a beta version, I have to say. Sometimes they create the task as a parent task, sometimes as a subtask. But I feel like it's already much better than having to organize it yourself. What I can do is just convert this as a parent task, and it should put it back into my bucket, and I can delete that one, the form submission. Okay, cool. It's organized it. And that one set up for sales employee, it's put it as normal priority. And the knowledge has assumed it's related to me is actually normal priority for this one. The triage is working pretty well. You can put it back as a parent task. So as you can see, ClickUp has reorganized the task names. It's set the task description, the assignee, the start date, the due date, and the priority, thanks to the instructions I gave it in my IT Help Desk priority matrix. And as people are submitting requests, this is going to be more and more intelligent, and you can reorganize it by priority if you wanted to. And that's what I love about this tool, because it's using the knowledge from previous tasks, from the comments you've left in those tasks, from that information, for the context you give it, for the documentation you give it, to create your tasks and manage them for you. Obviously, I'd advise to always keep a human in the loop to take care of tweaking things, reorganizing them, making sure start and due dates make sense. But this is already a game changer in project management, in my opinion. Having an AI taking care of renaming your tasks, improving the descriptions, setting start and due dates, and priorities and assignees, to me, this is where project management is going. Thank you for watching this video till the end. And as I said in the beginning, I think we're at the edge of what AI agents are capable of. we're going to go much further with agentic work and agentic project management. If you don't want to miss the AI project management train, book a discovery call with Upsys and we'll go through your need and see if it makes sense to set up AI agents for you. Feel free to watch the different use cases I'll be making about AI agents in this channel. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. And until then, stay productive.